Hello, everybody. This is your midweek stock market update. So it's very interesting what's going on out here right now. The market is soaring again. Well, it's getting back. The Dow is earning back the money it lost yesterday. So we're in this herky-jerky cycle with the Dow. But that herky-jerky cycle with the Dow is not to the downside. It is every time we get a little bit of a down, we get buyers coming in, which is interesting to say the least, especially in the middle of summertime when everybody's supposed to be off doing other things. And it is a low volume rally. It's a very quiet, very low volume rally. Earnings are coming out. Earnings are great in our patch, the oil patch, but earnings suck in a lot of other places. But the government has been out spending billions and trillions of dollars again, and there's been no talk whatsoever about that. They just gave another $550 million to Ukraine for the war. So because the US government is spending trillions of dollars through appropriation measures, not even through the open door process, this world is living off of all of this government spending. It's what's going on. It's spending trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. And yet it's not covered anywhere. You have to dive in to look at how much money the government is actually spending that it doesn't even have. So while the Federal Reserve is supposed to be calling money back, the federal government is letting money go. So it simply is the whole Robin Hood kind of feature. Take the money back from from humans and spend it all around the globe. And that's what they're doing. They're reappropriating US dollars around the globe. The Chinese economy, the second largest economy on the planet, is in a tatters. The German economy, the fifth, I think it is now, something like that, somewhere around in there. The German economy, they just had to start a coal plant because they have turned off hot water in Germany. Turn it off. There are now protests in Cuba because the Cuban government has said, we're going to start blacking out the island from time to time. We're just going to turn the power off. Turkey, the inflation rate in Turkey is 80%. Italy is so bad they lost their government. Doesn't even have a government. And yet the stock market is soaring. Why is it soaring? Why does it run this counter trend? And the reason that it's soaring, to be honest with you, is because money has to go to the safest safe haven when the globe is in a tatters. And so money is flooding to the United States. And it's being invested in our markets. It's being invested by the Chinese buying all of our land. It's being invested by everybody else around the globe seeking safety from their own country, from their own world order, from their own problems that they have in their own country. They're like, every German is saying, Achtung, I need to invest in a US fund. And that's what's driving this market soaring, because there is no good data out there to be able to even run on. We are so overbought. We're massively overbought. The data sets haven't even caught up. When I run the spreadsheet, it hasn't even caught up with where we're at. We're so far overbought in two indexes, the Consumer Discretionary Index and the tech index. We're so far overbought that mathematically, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So when these markets don't make any sense, you have to sit there and say, okay, why aren't they making any sense? What's happening is money is flooding into the United States. It's the only safe haven there is on the globe. Even here in Canada, we don't have people moving their money over here for whatever reason. It is going to the United States of America, the greenback, the buck. The buck stops in the buck at the United States. So that's what's going on. There's no good data sets for us to be able to sit there and say, gee, we can justify this and it makes perfect sense to be trading this or to be buying into this. Now, for me, luckily, oil is down hard today because the Chinese economy is just in tatters. They don't need that much oil. There was a big oil build as well, too. OPEC Plus came out and said, we're going to produce, but they can't produce any. There's actually about a million barrels a day shortage right now in the whole globe from an oil production perspective. About a million barrels a day, roughly. So my Occidental Petroleum shares, as you know, I've been owning them for a long time now. I've been holding them and trading them. I sold, as Oxy was coming up into earnings, I sold some options for Friday again, some covered call options for a small 2.2% gain. But that was 2.2% in a world that is kind of hard for me to understand, to be honest with you. And I felt that 2.2% was still going to be a positive gain. And so let's go ahead and execute that. So that's what I did. I sold one covered call on my Oxy shares, and I earned 2.2% for that. I need Oxy to close Friday under $65 a share. Their quarterly results were awesome. They made so much money on the quarter, they paid off debt. They did a share buyback, and they now have funding going forward for a lot of their projects because banks won't loan on these projects any longer. They can't. The administration has taken the banks and said, you can't loan on anything oil. So all the oil majors have to fund their own projects, and Oxy now has plenty of money. Their chemicals business alone made $800 billion on the quarter. Their oil production after they bought Endarco, keep in mind that before COVID, they bought Endarco for cash and debt, and then oil sold off because of COVID. So now that oil is going back up, COVID's over, then they took their money and paid debt right away. So going forward, they don't have debt, very little debt, and they're just going to be producing. So it's all good going forward. I look for Oxy to be a really good stock here. If this economy is going as gangbusters as what the market says is going, then we're burning through a hell of a lot of oil all over the place. But why are we building oil? Why was the results of oil build if we're burning it all over the place because the stock market says things are really, really good? So we'll have to see what happens. Luckily, the election cycle is coming up. I think that maybe that's what the market's also pricing in, is they're pricing in some kind of a change in leadership. And so they're happy-go-lucky about that. Maybe that's it. Don't know. The market always prices 6 months in advance. So 6 months in advance would be after Election Day and the Republicans taking back power, possibly. And then the shit hitting the fan. So the market likes that, maybe? Gives you something to think about at the very least. So it's a beautiful day again here in the City of Windsor. City of Windsor business was good in July. My die-cast business actually did about $2,400 worth of sales for the month of July, which was a good July. It was a very quiet, consistent July, which is awesome. My real estate business did well. I sold one house in Forest Glade. I have to fight to be able to get paid for that house, but there's more to the story than that, but I'll get paid for that house. That's okay. Put my boxing gloves on. I'm a big boy. I don't mind getting battered around a little bit. So sold one house in July here in Forest Glade. I have a lot of houses coming up for listing appointments. I've got listing appointments. We only listed, for some reason, 19 houses over the weekend. Now, I don't know if the real estate board's backed up. We're going to see today. because sometimes that happens. The real estate board gets backed up, or people are taking vacation, or they take an extra day, or they've traveled someplace and they have to quarantine or whatever, you know, all kinds of different things that go on with all that. So we'll have to see what happens, whether that was in a weird data set. 19 listings would be crazy for a 3-day weekend. But anyway, we'll have to see what's going on with that. Or 19 sales, sorry, 19 sales for a 3-day weekend. That would be unheard of. I had offers on the weekend. Didn't win either of the 2 offers that I had, just because my clients are thinking that the market is not what it is in the city of Windsor, and they have to come around to that. It'll take some time to get there. There is a sweet spot. There's no real $550,000, $500,000 houses here in the city of Windsor. Everything is either less than that or more than that. And so that market is exceptionally tough right now. But that's what's going on here in the city of Windsor. As interest rates are creeping up, people are still coming here. They're still buying here. My lead flow is still strong, and my fall listings are going to be really, really good. One of them I'm trying to double end right now in Bell River. I got an appointment on Friday to go out and see a house in Bell River. And I actually have a client that's looking for that same size house in Bell River. So maybe I can just get that quietly sold and not have to worry about it. But we'll see what happens with that as well too. So July was good, all the way across the board. The market, my account was up 5.8% for the month of July, 5.8, 5.6, something like that for the month of July. Still a good month of July. Taking those gains wherever you can get them, that 5.8% for the month of July was a good month of July. And we'll carry that forward here into August, and we'll find something to invest in that makes some sense here at some point in time. So thanks for watching. Enjoy your day. Go out there. It's a beautiful day again here in the city of Windsor. The weather here is just stunningly beautiful. That's why people are moving here. We are the South Beach of Canada, and I'll do some other videos. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Go do something.